Welcome to The Apprentice, You're Fired. And what huge excitement amongst the candidates for their flying visit to Dubai and one explosive ending. With the help of unseen footage, we'll be discovering the secrets of the souk and the mystery of the oud. It's always great, by the way, to see our candidates out of their comfort zone. It turns out, for example, that Jason isn't the most gifted runner in the world. But if that looked effortful, here's Kurt trying to do sums in his head.
That's not 6 foot.
That's not 6 foot.
42 centimeters by 72 centimeters.
Now to our globe-trotting panel, international entrepreneur Lara Morgan, comedian Miles Jupp and broadcaster and former PR Supremo Nicki Chapman. Welcome to You're Fired. Tonight's task of a business trip to Dubai left one candidate booted out of the boardroom in London.
Z, your idea of coming into business with me is going to be to do with international trading in real estate. And you've just demonstrated to me that you can't deal internationally. You are to blame for this task. It was out of control. And Z, you're fired.
Thank you, Lord Sugar.
Please welcome Zishan Shah. How are you? Firstly, Zishan, may I say how well you're smelling tonight?
Thank you.
Delightful. It's evocative of a big old tree. It was an explosive end to the episode. Were you disappointed to be fired? Do you think it was the wrong decision?
Yeah, I do think so, actually. Looking back on it, I think I had quite a good task, delivered quite well in negotiations. We got some great bargains. Unfortunately, the sub-team didn't deliver. They came back with one item.
You came back with two?
Yeah, we came with two. We got very good deals on the two.
Twice as good as them,
yeah.
But half as good as someone who got all four. So I'm just saying it wasn't an unqualified success. Yeah.
For us, I mean, it's a difficult task. You're out there in Dubai, and we were driving for bargains. But, you know, our strategy was a more difficult one, and it didn't pay off, unfortunately.
Well, listen, we're going to go pick through all the bones of this, but there is one thing which, unfortunately, you fit a kind of a template. You fit a kind of a thing that happens at least once a season. It's the classic Apprentice moment. The candidate who says, this task is made for me, and then comes the fall.
You know Dubai, yeah?
Yeah, I know Dubai quite well, yes.
Yeah, man, Dubai's like a second home now. This is good. Hopefully I can use that to my advantage.
Well, you can put the map away, because I know Dubai like the back of my hand. Yes, seriously.
You're not modest, are you?
Oud is a local Arabic perfume.
Oud is a perfume?
I thought you were the expert.
There is a smell that most Arabs use, which is called oud.
It did say Egyptian mahogany.
Mahogany's a wood, though.
That's the actual fragrance in it.
Egyptian mahogany is a scent.
Z, listen, sunshine, it's not. O-U-D-H is a perfume. It's spelled differently, but... No one wants to smell like a dining table.
Z, I think you put yourself forward as someone who knows it all, and clearly you don't know it all.
OK, you haven't lived in Dubai, but you've worked there. You've lived there for how long?
I've lived there a couple of years, yeah.
A couple of years, OK,
Yep.
grand. I'm not from London, right?
OK.
I've been living about 10, 12 years. I wouldn't know where to buy a falcon hood in London. Yeah. And by the way, can I just say, hello, panel, by the way, how are you? But don't you want to stay in a hotel in which every room has a hat for a bird? Because I'm sick of checking into hotels with the falcon and then go, do you have a hat for your bird? And the bird goes, wah! I thought you supplied hat for the bird. Sorry, but back to you in a second. But I wouldn't know where to go. I mean, like, do you overreach? Obviously, you knew more than they did.
Yep.
But that doesn't necessarily mean you knew everything.
Well, I think my knowledge of Dubai actually worked against me in this task, because obviously I knew a little bit about how to get around and where different places are. But even living in Dubai, I've never gone looking for oud or falcon hood or any of those random items, so I don't know how much advantage the knowledge of the city gave me.
Ultimately, no, you'd have to say it wasn't a huge advantage.
It wasn't, no.
Lara, if I can come to you, this is your the company you set up. I know it's not what you do anymore, but the supplying of quality goods to a quality hotel. Where did it all go wrong? Was it...
I
think that, I mean, you've said it, that I know Dubai by the back of your hand was just a death blow from the outset, and the put away your maps added to it, and frankly, the response of both sub-team Leah, who you immediately disenfranchised, and then, you even referred to as her. You had dictated from the outset that you had the answers, and it was your fault that they, if you like, then were fighting against this flow of I know. And I think you shot yourself in the foot over, I mean, the flag issue wasn't entirely your fault. And by the way, I thought you handled that really well when you went back outside and said it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
because actually mistakes happen.
You've got to keep it positive, and
yeah,
get them
so there were
forward.
positives, but, you were killing yourself from the start.
Miles, have you gigged in Dubai?
I've been to Dubai, yeah. And I mean, also I know about hotels because I've stolen quite a lot of luxury items from hotels. My house is absolutely full of, duvets and towels and quite cheap slippers. Yeah, I've been out there. I mean, Dubai is not an easy place to do anything in a hurry.
Nick, have you ever worked out in Dubai?
I've been out, yes, in Dubai quite a few times, and it is very difficult to shop. I mean, I wouldn't have a clue where to start, is the truth. So as soon as you said we don't need the maps, yeah, your sub-team probably didn't they, to get around? And that was the thing for me. My first impression was, I mean, I don't think Leah gave you much chance at the beginning. She was up against you. And I thought that was unfair on her, but then things did turn around and actually her gut feel was right. You just didn't give them anything.
Well, you were the project manager, but there was someone snapping at your heels right from the start.
Was he a good team leader?
Terrible. A really good leader and really good with finance, really good with figures.
I'm happy with Z.
I'm happy with Z.
OK.
I genuinely felt I would have done a better job.
She'd assumed she was sub-team leader, you'd assumed she was sub-team leader even before I'd appointed her.
I'll go to the mall with my sub-team.
You're sub-team?
Yeah, I want to be sub-team leader.
I heard that, but I haven't said anything who's sub-team leader yet. All you've done the whole thing was complain and be a pessimist. Where are you guys exactly?
We changed plan, we're now at Dubai, Mal.
You're much better off going to the souk.
Stop talking, we don't have time.
Didn't click with Leah, did you? Get in touch since, have you? Yeah.
No, she's actually, like, I get along with Leah. She's a really, really nice girl. On task is different. It's under pressure, it's business. Outside is different. She's a really, really nice girl. But I think a critical part of this task was the failure of communication between myself and Leah, because, from the beginning, it was like kind of a standoff between me and her.
There is a serious allegation with this now with regard to your relationship with Leah, and then further then with Natalie about being chauvinistic. Talking to Neil on the phone, it didn't work well. Not letting Natalie participate in the car. What was going on there? There was a lot of, she's trying to get in and the two of you have the phone book and all that.
I mean, she did have an opportunity to do it, and...
So why are there many examples of how you come across as quite sexist?
In this episode,
yes.
I think it was just a bit of a coincidence, really. I mean, if I was... No, honestly,
You should spread your sexism out across the series. Throw all your sexist eggs into the same basket.
The point that I made in the boardroom as well, they're saying, with Leah, the way that she took over, and then I did give her the reins then. I did say, yes, you can be. I could have put my foot down and said, no. You know what? I've worked with Neil, I know Neil, or I've worked with Alex, I know Alex, great guys, they're the PM. But I let her be it, so it's not. And then, unfortunately, in Natalie's case, I've worked with her a couple of times, and I think Kurt was better doing than her doing that.
It was said that you brought the wrong people in, so let's look at the first person that you let off the hook.
The best thing that I did on this task was get the Candora.
If you can do it for 60, I buy it from you. If you can't, I buy it from somebody else, sir.
My performance, I thought, was really good.
I'm not bothered about the quality.
I think I've shown I am a great negotiator.
I'm in a very, very rush.
I negotiated a great deal, so I'm happy with my individual performance.
The Candora was the wrong sort. It was modern rather than the traditional Emirati version, so that incurs a fine.
Thank God I never sent you out to get 20 camels. You'd come back with a packet of fags.
That's a hangable offence. You got the thing wrong.
Yeah.
Lack of attention to detail. When you bring him in?
The failure of that sub-team, the whole sub-team failed. It wasn't just Neil failing on that. They failed. They came back with one item. And I think the root of that was the stance that Leah took from the beginning of sort of opposition to me. So that whole they were a negative team the whole way. From the offset, they were all about this is wrong, that's wrong. And if they had a better attitude, I believe they could have done better. So instead of pinning it on that one Neil and that incident, I pinned on the overall team performance, which I felt was affected due to Leah's...
Tough to nail somebody on a stance, though, as opposed to nail somebody and going, well, he did the wrong, he got that wrong.
But she was the deputy PM.
Yeah. Is Neil charismatic? Is Neil scary?
So in that case, because you were the leader PM, when the whole task went wrong, that's your responsibility?
Obviously, no, within it there was failure, but you've got some... No. That's a fair point, but... but...
And she's kind of not the first person to make it read, that's why you're here. Neil Clough, do you think he'd be a...
Neil looked really anxious throughout the entire episode, as if going to Dubai was the worst news he'd heard, as if that's the one place he owes someone a lot of money. He looked absolutely... He was palpitating the whole episode. He had this sort of heavy sweat on all the time and constantly, you know, sort of ducking around the suit, desperate not to see whoever it is that's after him.
But he did mediate, didn't he? When Leo and Alex were really sort of kicking off, he was the one who said, come on, guys, you know, let's just get on with the task. And he was very good with the two of those, I thought.
Alex does tend to have little rants in the car.
Yes. He spits his dummy, doesn't he?
He does a little bit. He gets really angry in the back of a car. And Alex, I think family holidays in Alex's car extremely intense. Alex, I'm really getting really angry about stuff. And like, whoa, he's constantly kicking off. Like,
little tantrums.
Stuff. Yes, he does have little tantrums.
I loved him shouting, I don't need Viagra, I'm from Wales. Everybody in Wales constantly walks around in a state of unforced arousal.
From Wales, I am. But the classic mistake, probably to some extent, will be regarded as the mistake of the series. A mistake. How huge was this mistake? Dear. It was the size of Stonehenge, which we know to be that tall. This mistake was Kurt's.
You were asked to get a 6-foot by 4-foot flag.
12 centimetres and a foot.
Yeah.
It's basically about...
72.
72. 48 by 72.
That seemed too easy. That's not 6 foot.
That's not 6 foot.
42 centimeters by 72 centimeters.
So who doesn't know the centimetres from inches then? You?
1 foot is 12 centimetres.
1 foot is 12 centimetres?
12 inches and a foot, isn't it?
12 inches, not centimetres.
Where is this flag, by the way? It would look like a pimple on an elephant. It's like a blooming napkin, this thing.
Do you know who I blame for this? I blame Europe. It's those bloody Brussels bureaucrats have confused good English people like Kurt who don't know centimetres from inches and they don't know their measurements. Did any alarm bells go off when he said got sent?
In the heat of the moment, I was just on the phone making the order. He was like, no, quickly, and I just said it to me and I just said it and then...
Listen, none of you, you all heard him say it. Natalie heard him say it, you heard him say it about the...
But I'm intrigued because Kurt made the mistake on the calculations and got something fundamentally wrong. Whereas Natalie didn't, and you chose to take her into the boardroom. Is that because you know, her card had already been marked?
For me, I mean, when you're going into taking people back into the boardroom, people are very tactful about it. But I stick to my principles in business and even on the show.
Tactical.
Yeah, tactical.
Rather than tactful. One thing I would never accuse you of is being tactful in the way in which you bring people into the boardroom.
Yes, I'm not really tactical. I just keep it, you know, sort of simple and straight and.
Do you take the people into the boardroom that you don't have the relationship with, the ones that you like, you leave out?
Me and Kurt don't really have much of a relationship at all, to be honest, but I saw Natalie as the weakest link in the team. Yes, as you all said, you can all understand how that mistake was made in the heat of the moment, and I knew that if I took Kurt back, he could have potentially got fired for that.
I'd say, but you wouldn't bring Kurt into the boardroom because he might have been fired.
No, I mean, he might have got fired for that, which I don't believe would have been right, because it was a mistake that... as genuine mistake that anybody could have made, and I don't believe he should have been fired for that.
OK, but here you are.
So, yeah, after me, secondly...
OK, we were going to go trail all the way back, by the way, because you made quite an impression in episode 1 with your claim to be almost a famous historical figure.
Yeah.
I've got a bloke over there thinks he's Napoleon.
Napoleon, at the age of 32, he conquered the world. That is where I am headed. I will be one of the greats of this generation in business, period. That is a fact. I will go down in history. People who have met me or people that know me, well, they should cherish it because they will know that, you know, we knew someone who did something great. 200 years after I lived, people read about me in books.
I was clapping to the artwork you guys have done.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Obviously, rather than applauding the historical vision that you've laid out. You've worked with performers, you know, in the PR industry all the time. How does he rate on the scale of...
You're up there, really. I would call you talent, actually. Yes, talent, because, I mean, I don't think there is a modest bone in your body, but if there is, you keep it hidden. But there's a lot to be said, you know, for going out there and having true belief. And you do need that in business. You also need to slightly temper it because there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance.
You also said in your notes, one of the things that is your worst traits is you don't take criticism very well. Wow, well, OK, fine.
Moving on.
Are you better now from having, you know, from being in the process?
I've never had a problem taking criticism, it's just who it comes from. And I said it, I think that it was cut off then as well. If somebody that has the credibility in front of me and I respect that person, I listen to what they've got to say.
What happens if you've never met them before? Don't you give them the benefit of the doubt?
It's not very often that you haven't met someone who's walk up to you and start criticising you.
You meet people every day, but you meet people every day in life, and they all have something to offer the world.
Right, yeah.
And we can all take away lessons from each other. Just don't judge a book by its cover.
Thank you.
You know, I'm a middle-aged old woman who knows not very much, and you might meet me in the second-class tube train and we might have a chat. And I might have done OK in my life, but you may have missed an opportunity.
No, I understand that, yeah.
By the way, Lara, I know you're not referring to yourself as I'm a middle-aged woman, given that you were ranked in the top 10 in triathlon. So let's not act all coy.
I'm delighted to discover that tube trains may have a first class. That's something to aspire to, isn't it?
OK. If it comes to criticism and people criticising you, brace yourselves. The moment of truth, as you hear from Lord Sugar and your former colleagues.
Z, the so-called expert of Dubai, dug his own grave. He was overconfident, but more to the point, he brought the wrong people into the boardroom, and that really angers me.
I think he's a good salesperson, but he's really failed on this task.
Quite frankly, I have never worked under someone who is more incompetent.
Not a clue. Absolutely not a clue. And the worst thing was, what he didn't know, he made up.
I couldn't go into business with someone who has a lack of knowledge of their own abilities, and that's why I fired Z.
So how are your criticism-taking skills? How's that?
It's... I don't agree with it all, but fair enough, that's their point.
Absolutely, well, but there is some tough stuff there. I mean, they kind of, you know...
I mean, Leah's claimed to me to be the most incompetent person she's ever worked with. I mean, that's absurd. It honestly is. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more incompetent people than myself in the world that she's had the pleasure of working with.
Yeah, no idea. What are your plans, by the way, now? Are you staying in international property?
Yeah, I mean, I've just expanded my existing business within the property field and also launched a forum promoting investment into Pakistan. I do a lot of work with the government over here in the UK and in Pakistan promoting investors from the UK to trade with Pakistan. Pakistan's got a big problem with PR, in essence. It's got a lot of opportunity, but unfortunately doesn't have a face, and I believe people like myself who are educated people, professional business people should dedicate ourselves to a cause bigger than ourselves, and for me, that's what it is.
OK, that's fair enough. Now to the winning team, and with a 2-day overseas business trip to prepare for, Louisa had to pack just the right things.
People think I'm thick because of the way I look, the way I act. I'm always smiling, I'm always happy, and I'm not very serious. Bikinis, although I love to have fun, and I think you can't go through life not having fun. And take this bikini as well.
No, babe, I really don't think you need your bikini.
If I want to wear, like, 7-inch heels to work and a bright pink dress, I will. Oh, this is a nice dress. Oh, I might take this dress in case I get to go for dinner or something. I like being happy, it's good.
On the off chance it was the Apprentice's first going for dinner and having a swim task.
No, I love Louisa's world. I just love her world. Business goes to the back, doesn't it? She's going to have fun while she's there.
Yeah, happy jolly, you know, but I mean, she is quite young, you know, so...
She is, but there's something endearing about her. She gives off this image of sort of being just smiling, getting on with it, but underneath, I think there's another layer to her, I really do. And I think, for me, she's a real contender, because you don't take her always seriously, but underneath she knows what she's doing.
She's shrewd, she's good.
Yeah.
I like Louisa's world.
Impresses you?
Yeah, I liked her because she's always encouraging others, which means she's a good team player. And I think she's savvy enough to be making friends around her. I sense she's smarter than she's...
I think she's pretty sharp. I mean, there was something about the way she was going, oh, this is a nice dress, that suggested it wasn't actually her luggage she was going through.
Miles took on the role of project manager for the first time this week. People feel they know very little about Miles, other than he's fit, successful and lives a glamorous lifestyle. Maybe he has a secret identity.
Lord Sugar doesn't need to hold my hand. I think he's been playing the role of boardroom Batman for long enough now. With me as his business partner, he can relax, he can change outfits, play more the role of a corporate Robin. I'm the new Cape Crusader in Apprentice City.
How do you find Miles? Impressed?
It's pretty smooth.
Yeah, he is that. He's ripped as well, yeah.
Can't wait for my husband to see that. But actually, you know, I think he was a better strategic leader from the outset. He had his team with him, I felt, and there wasn't anything like the controversy, I think. But actually, very poor mistake not asking for the boss, because he paid what they got 50% off.
15% off, and you got 50%, was it?
He got they got 50% off the price, and the others got 10% off. And Lord Sugar had said it's a negotiating task, so at any point there was negotiating.
Are we going to start a trend of people just going up to perfectly innocent retail staff and demanding to see the boss?
Yes.
I don't talk to you. I watch The Apprentice.
See the boss.
Get me the boss. I'm not coming out again. I've got stuff to do here.
Well, I spend all day doing this.
I mean, he's impressive. He comes across as quietly impressive.
I mean, he's gorgeous, isn't he? The overall package is good.
That's not what I asked.
But I think he was very lucky with this task. I think he had a fantastic team. I didn't see that much leadership from him. I think he was lucky.
Plus
the rest of them got him through it. So beautiful on the eye, but I'm not sure what's really underneath.
Can we pick on one of my favourite members of their team? Jason, when abroad, very much becomes the archetypal Englishman, engaging with the locals patiently in English, but what he presumes is their accent.
And what material is this? This is cotton. When you buy wood, you buy how? In a piece, one piece. You put a hat on it so it does not see. You look like an eagle, a big bird, and you put it on your arm and it flies away. And it hunts. Don't worry, don't worry.
Miles, for some reason, I feel I should come to you.
There's something incredibly charming about him. I mean, I imagine even playing charades, some of his mimes are a little too vivid for what's required. But I know there's something rather sweet about him. I mean, he had those lovely stripy pyjamas we saw at the beginning of the programme. I mean, he's sort of very archetypal English, but also Nick Hewer as well. He has that kind of thing. He's sort of like Denham Elliott in, you know, isn't he, in Indiana Jones, wandering around looking, oh, you know, like the sort of senior tutor at spy school or something. Yes. I think the two of them together are a major diplomatic incident waiting to happen.
That is a show. Jason and Nick Hewer just travelling around the world in matching Panama hats.
Currently enough digital channels to sustain such an idea, I suspect.
I like the fact, because clearly the man, this randomer, who just happened to be shopping, and they've latched onto him, and now, like some weird challenge, explain hawk to that guy, right? It's equivalent, like, it is a bird, and the bird flies, and then hunts.
also Jordan thinking he has to step in, actually. Kind of, come on, mate, step away.
Like the most refined stag weekend. Kicking off.
I'm not quite sure what he brings to it, though. I mean, he's lovely, but he's prize plum, really, isn't he?
He's quite plump, but his negotiation wasn't... He had this style of going, oh... And he said, like, a negotiating style, because they finally got the oud, and somebody said, well, it's 1,800. And Louisa goes, I was hoping more 500. And he went, I was hoping more 3. Yeah. Suddenly the negotiations gone all the way down there. Oh, my God, the Vice-Consul has said 3. We can't offend the British Embassy by selling him an oud for more than 3. You're competitive, aren't you? You describe yourself as competitive?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, because in terms of the competition, you've been there and you bought the T-shirt.
Life's a competition. It's my gym motivational T-shirt, and also sort of, you know, just saying life's a competition. For me, I'd rather live like a man. No, I'd rather die like a man. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
What do you want about?
I don't see players, I see spaces. No, I don't see players, I see spaces. Like Muhammad Ali said, I hated every day of training, but I thought to myself, suffer today and live the rest of your life as a champion.
OK, we're going to do the vote here. Lara, do you think Lord Sugar was right to fire Z?
Yes.
Yes, OK. Miles?
I think, given the sort of the nature of the, yes, I can do it, I'm the man here, that sort of sealed your fate, so yes, I'm afraid so.
Nikki?
Sorry, Z, I'm going to agree, yes.
Everyone agrees, it's terrible.
Wait, we'll get this one. We're going to throw it out to the room. If you agree with Lord Sugar, hold up fired. If you disagree with the choice made, hold up hired. I think that's a...
It's debatable, right? That's
not really debatable in any way. I think
Let's try again.
I think it's a fired. Thank you very much. Fired it was. Oh, listen, if we can in some way put some positive ending to it all, and we do always like to give somebody a gift to take away.
That'd be nice.
You know, and it'd be nice to give you something that, you know, you sought and you sought and you sought, and yet it is actually available in a... This is oud. It is an Arabian scent. Yeah. It is an Arabian scent in a mahogany container. Do you know what else it is? That's standard size mahogany container. Thank you. 5 exciting weeks. Here are your highlights.
I am the bling master.
Mr. Bombastic! Z is the only man I know who has diamonds in his diamonds. Use that bling.
Mate, you're the king of bling.
That is who I am. I'm a believer in my own power, and I believe whatever my mind can conceive, I can achieve.
Yeah.
Roll up the sleeves, start doing some hard negotiating, hard bargaining.
50 pence for 2 pints of milk!
I'm moving forward, I'm looking forward.
He's a really good salesman.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. In life, I'm a risk taker. I'm a rebel of the status quo.
I think he's a really, really top guy.
Very friendly, very funky.
Thank you. Zishan Shah signing off.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zishan! And that's it for tonight. Thanks to all my guests. If you want more, then go to our website at bbc.co.uk/apprentice for Matt Edmondson's awkward conversations with the fired candidates. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Next week, when The Apprentice is back on Wednesday night, it's all about corporate away days with The Message. But who'll get the message to go home?
You are going to provide entertainment.
For God bloody sake!
If you push me, I will flip. When I flip, you don't want to be there.
I've had enough.
Oh, I've been inspired here.
I mean, I want to be a policewoman.
Note it down, Sergeant Miles.
Not quite sure what's going on.
I thought it was just me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Everyone happy?
A total disaster.
It's just a total calamity.
Next week, we'll be back on Wednesday night at 10, so join us then.
And probably smelling of oud, Z will be chatting to Greg James tomorrow afternoon from 4 o'clock on BBC Radio 1. Newsnight's next tonight here on BBC 2, or catch up with the start of a big week in Albert Square. Lauren's way out of control in tonight's EastEnders on BBC 3 now.